हरे कृष्णा प्रेमवस्य प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, तुम्हें प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, am I audible प्रभु?
Yes, प्रभु जी, you are audible. Can you hear me?
Yes प्रभु जी। Are we ready प्रभु?
Yes, प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Today we are very fortunate to have the association of His Grace Premavasya Prabhu. Will be sharing the nectar from Srimad Bhagavatam, canto number 5, chapter number 17, sloka number 15 and 16. Prabhuji, over to you, Prabhu.
Thank you, प्रभु जी। So, welcome devotees. So, today we have a very important verse that we are going to discuss. Let us start the prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapte Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Panamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So for today class, I have prepared few slides. So let me share my slides with you. Can you see the slides, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So we are going to discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, chapter 17, text number 15 and 16. So this is regarding Lord Shiva and the Ilavarta Varsa. So I looked at the previous classes and His Grace Haridev Krishnadas Prabhu, Shankar Sanitaya Prabhu, Prasanatha Balram Prabhu, Ravi Lochan Prabhu, they all have described the our Jambu Dweep Ilavarta Varsa in details. So I will not discuss on that topic. So I will start on something different. So let us start with the sloka. इलाव्रते तु भगवान् भवैकैव पुमान् हयस्त्रतापो निर्विशति भवन्यः शापनिमित्तज्ञो यत्प्रवक्ष्यतः स्त्रीभावास्तत्पश्चात् वक्ष्यामि। Synonyms: Ilavrata, in the tract of land known as Ilavrata Varsa. 2. But Bhagavan, the most powerful. Bhavaha, Lord Shiva. Ekah, only. Eva, certainly. Puman, male person. Na, not. He, certainly. Anyaha, any other. Tatra, there. Aparaha, beside. Nirvisati, enters. Bhavanyah, Sapa, Nimitta Jnanaha, who knows the cause of the curse by Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva. Yad pravikshataha of one who forcibly enters that tract of land. Stri bhavaha transformation into a female. Tat that paschat later. Vakshyami I shall explain. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Sukdev Goswami said, in the tract of land known as Ilavrata Varsa, the only main person is Lord Shiva, the most powerful demigod. Goddess Durga, the wife of Lord Shiva, does not like any man to enter that land. If any foolish man dares to do so, she immediately turns him into a woman. I shall explain this later in the ninth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Text number 16. Bhavani Nathai Striguna Arbuda Sahasrai Avaruddhamanaha Bhagavata Chatusmurte Mahapurusasya Turyam Tamasim Murtim Prakritim Atmanaha Sankarsana Samagya Atma Samadhi Rupena Sannidhapya Etat Abhikrina Bhava Upadhavati Bhavani Natha by the company of Bhavani, Stri, Strigana of females, Arbuda Sahasre by 10 billion, Avruddhamanaha always being served, Bhagavataha Chaturmurte, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who expanded in four, Mahapurusasya, the Supreme Person, Turiyam, the fourth expansion, Tamasim, related to more ignorance, murtim of the form, prakritim as the source, atmanaha of himself, Lord Shiva, sankarsana samagya, known as sankarsana, atma samadhi rupena by meditating upon him in trance, sannidhapya bringing him near, etad this, abhigranan clearly chanting, bhavaha Bhava, Lord Shiva, Upadhavati, worship. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Translation. In 11th versa, Lord Shiva is always encircled by 10 billion maid servants of Goddess Durga, who ministers to him. The quadruple expansion of the Lord, Supreme Lord, is composed of Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Sankarsana. Sankarsana, the fourth expansion, is certainly transcendental, but because his activities of destruction in the material world are in the more ignorance, he is known as Tamasi, the Lord's form in the more ignorance. Lord Shiva knows that Sankarsana is the original cause of his own existence, and thus he always meditates upon him in trance by chanting the following mantra. So this mantra will be discussed in the next classes and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada writes in the purport, sometimes we see a picture of Lord Shiva engaged in meditation. This verse explains that Lord Shiva is always meditating upon Lord Sankarsana in trance. Lord Shiva is in charge of the destruction of the material world. Lord Brahma creates the material world. Lord Vishnu maintains it, and Lord Shiva destroys it. Because destruction is in the mode ignorance, Lord Shiva and his worshipable deity, Sankarsana, are technically called Tamasi. Lord Shiva is the incarnation of Tamoguna, since both Lord Shiva and Sankarsana are always enlightened and situated in the transcendental position. They have nothing to do with the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. But because their activities involve them with the more ignorance, they are sometimes called tamasi. So, in these verses, there are many topics that we can discuss. One is like Ilavarta Versa. What is Ilavarta Versa? So, there have been a lot of discussion about Ilavarta Versa in previous classes. Then one question arises is like, while Lord Shiva is being served by 10 billion maid servants of Goddess Durga. And when in the previous verse it is said that any male, if they enters, it is said, if any male, if they enters into that region, they are automatically converted, or this is Stri Bhava transforms into the female. They are transforming the female. So we can also discuss about what is this male and the female concept. So these are the few things that I have chosen today to discuss. So let us start on this. So there are a few questions that I have marked here that we can discuss. The questions like, what is the deeper connection between male and female identities, both in material life and your eternal spiritual existence? So what is male? What is female? What what this really signifies in terms of material and spiritual concepts? Then why Lord Shiva, who is a great ascetic, being served by 10 billion maid servants? And what does symbolize about material energy and pure consciousness? And despite his supreme power, why does Lord Shiva meditate on Lord Sankarsana? And what lesson that is we can derive from this? What is there for us to learn? Because whenever we discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, as a sadhaka, we want to understand what is there for us. So from all the stories, all the slokas, we try to derive something that we can practice, something we can also meditate, and we can contemplate. As sadhaka, spiritual practitioners, what essential lessons we can draw from these verses? Okay, so let's do this. So when we are reading about this Bhumandala, and if we try to map that Bhumandala into our present day geographical locations, it will be very difficult to identify those. Just like a Sumeru made of golden mountain, and there are four directions. The river is flowing, and then the Jambu Deep and the seven islands, and there are different kinds of oceans, milk oceans, then the salt oceans, and the ghee oceans. So very difficult to understand. So Bhumandala is not just a map of matter; it is a cosmic blueprint where spiritual and material dimensions intertwine. So in this description, we should understand that we are living in a 3D material world where we have um, x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, that is length, breadth, and height. And the fourth dimension is the time. Scientifically, when people they started to understand the other dimensions of the world, and you must be knowing about this M theory. So there's a quantum mechanical theory, there is a string theory, there is a M theory. So in the M theory, this membrane theory, it is said that the world is composed of 11 dimensions. That is 10 physical dimension and one is time dimension. And it is very difficult for us, according to membrane theory, to understand what are the other dimensions that we can know. It is even more difficult to visualize those dimensions. Also, in terms of the scientific literatures, it is very difficult to visualize. They visualize it as the turning of the ropes, something like that. But for us to understand and interpret, we will try to understand all the 11 dimension in our three-dimensional world only. But according to them, there are 11 dimensions, and there have been many discussion about what about the other beings, if they exist in other dimensions, what power they may have. So these are all different discussion. We will not go into that part. But the the point that I want to discuss here is it is not that only in Srimad Bhagavatam or the Vedic literatures that we talk about the multi dimensions of this universe, but also in the scientific literatures, current scientific literatures, also we are trying to understand the multi dimensions of this universe. And And accordingly, if you just on this basis, we just try to understand that the description of the Bhumandala and the Sumeru and the other dweeps is like a cosmic, cosmic and multidimensional world that is being described here, and it is not the only the Earth. Sometimes, if we just try to understand from what people know in around on the web, we also come to know that someone has plotted a map where they try to map all those different versas on the map of the world. And but it is very difficult to understand those dimensions, like 84,000 yojanas. That is a very huge mountain. It is more than the size of the earth even. So sometimes others who do not trust, who do not have belief in Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, they say that it is just a mental concoction. It is not true. But those who are aware of the spiritual science and they understand it, they know it better that these are the true descriptions, and we are able to understand from our material point of views. So here what you see is like two tuning fork. So uh, if you know about this resonance means if one resonating fork is just like as you hit it, and then it start resonating at a particular frequency. Okay, and then you have a resonating fork which can also resonate at a similar frequency. If you keep them together, although they are separated by a distance, just because this sound vibration travels through the space, it touches the other twin fork, they start resonating. So you can look more details on YouTube or your physics literatures and you understand this. So from this, I just want to bring to your understanding that when a soul resonates with the sattva and Suddha sattva, the gates of spiritual world open, and when we are trapped in the rajas and tamas, only the shadows of the matter are seen. It means that if our consciousness, if our consciousness is only rooted to the lower modes of nature and it resonates at a frequency of rajas, tamas, and not Suddha sattva, then what happens that whatever we see here, we just try to understand in terms of material conception only. But it is only through the sadhana and our desire that if we elevate our consciousness, if we if our resonance is to the sattva and Suddha sattva level, then it is very easy for someone to understand the spiritual science. And that is the resonating level where the spiritual realization starts to happen. And therefore our daily sadhana is something what matters a lot. We need to perform daily sadhana of chanting. Prabhupada always used to say that remain in sattva, remain in sattva. uh, we should modulate what we eat, what we think, how we speak. So all our activity should be in the mode of Sattva. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna has described the food, the behavior, the way we talk, the way we work, everything in the terms of Rajoguna, Tamaguna, and Sattva. Our tapasya, our donations, our dhanam, everything he has described in terms of Rajaguna, Tamaguna, Sattaguna. So what we can derive benefit from Bhagavad Gita is like we can read those verses from chapter 17 and other places, other other chapters, that what are the things that are in Sattaguna. And we should try to do all our activity in Sattaguna. The way we speak should be Sattaguna. The way we give donation should be Sattaguna. The food that we eat should be Sattaguna. With regard to food, I would like to mention here that even a food in Sattaguna, if consumed in large quantity, it becomes like a Tamaguna. So quantity, how much we eat also needs to be regulated. Otherwise, even if we are eating satoguna food, the impact that we have will be of the tamoguna. So satoguna food, satoguna thought, satoguna talk, satoguna behavior, everything in satoguna, and then reading scriptures daily and chanting the Lord's name. So these are things which are in the Shuddha Sattva and Sattva. And when our consciousness starts to resonate on that frequency, then only it is possible that we start to appreciate the higher spiritual dimensions of this universe. Today, because we do not see the spiritual dimensions, it is like we need to memorize everything. Just like if I close my eyes and someone tells me that that what are things are there in my room, then I will have to memorize them because I don't see them. But the moment I open my eyes, I don't need to memorize them. You ask me what is there on the right hand side, what is there on left hand side, what is there behind laptop, what is which books are there on the shelf. I don't have to memorize this. You just ask, and I can just look at it and tell you. This is what happens with regard to the realized souls. Those souls who are realized, they don't memorize things. They can see the spiritual dimensions and they tell. So similarly, when you look at when you read Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami, he describes everything. It's not that he has memorized and described everything. It is like he has a spiritual visions and he can tell. So we can also do this, and by the grace of Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu missions, we are fortunate enough that we are into the right mission and we are practicing daily. So let us be in Satoguna daily, and this daily Bhagavatam class is something which will keep us resonating on the spiritual platform of Satoguna and Shuddha Sattva. So let us discuss some more other points that I have prepared for you. So Lord Shiva has unique positions. So when you talk about like uh, Bhagavan, Lord Krishna, then there is Vishnu Tattva, and there is Jeev Tattva, and there is a material Tattva, and Lord Shiva has a very unique position. Kshiram Yatha Dadhi Vikar Vishesha Yoga. So if Lord Krishna is like a milk, then Lord Shiva is like curd. So same source is same, but the properties are different. So Lord Shiva has very unique positions, and it is said, and the maids serving Lord Durga. So it is mentioned there that there are 10 billions and many potencies of Lord Durga who are serving them. So what are those energies? So they are different energies like Moha Sakti, Avidya Sakti, Ichha Sakti, Kriya Sakti, Chobha Sakti, Rati Sakti, Dukha Sakti, Krodha Sakti, Bhaya Sakti, Ahankara Sakti. And you can just imagine that with our limited understanding, we can just write some limited names. And there are 10 billions of this kind of potency. Now you can just think about it, how much it is there and how little we know about it. Even it is difficult for anyone, I hope, that to list on the Sakti, understand those Sakti and understand the impact. What we can see here is that these are all like subtle moha. Our attraction is very subtle. It is not that it appears somewhere similarly like desire ichha sakti, it is also very subtle. Kriya sakti, it manifests, and then we start making action. But before we start thinking, feeling and willing, they starts within, and then our hands and legs and our mouth, our eyes, or they start working. Our like we have this Gyanendriya and Karmendriya. So the Karmendriya, they begin performing actions. Then Choba, frustration, is also internal, nothing external. Sorrow, Dukha, Krodha, Bhaya, Ahankara. These are all the subtle things that is there, and we are all bound up at that. So they are all said Kama Rupanya. That means they can transform different forms, and they are personified maid servants. So this Moha Saktis with Lord Shiva, she has a different forms. A different form is there, and she is serving. So they offer service to Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva remains undisturbed. And what this tells us that although Lord Shiva is surrounded by many material energies, but he is not disturbed. Similarly, the pure devotees, they remain meditative on Krishna and are untouched by destruction. Shiva meditation Sankarsana reflects the yogic perfection, total devotion, even if there are different external stimulus. If you look at the life of Srila Prabhupada, so Srila Prabhupada at the later age, I mean, in terms of material understanding, if you, even if you see that in that way, at the age of 70, he he had enormous wealth. He was world famous, and there are many followers. But those things did not disturb from his spiritual practices. So this is the same that we want to understand, that if our focus is on Lord Krishna and we are constantly meditating on Lord Krishna, then what happens that all these material energies that are there, just like they are helping they are helping Lord Shiva in different ways. They start helping devotee in different ways, and they do not disturb them. Just like Lord Krishna says, "Mam maya durattaya, mam evaya prapadante, mayam etam tarantite." So it is very difficult to overcome the moha sakti. You cannot win over this moha sakti, avidya sakti, illusions. It's very difficult to overcome this illusion. Illusion is such that even if you know that it is illusion, we think it is true, and we enjoy this. Just like uh, I mean, if I take myself also, so even although that I know that the scrolling through the YouTube shorts and the video is not good, but by chance, even if you look at two or three video, you cannot stop the two and three video. You just scroll up 10, 15, and by the time you see your time, you have spent half an hour, 20 minutes, 1 hour looking at those video and shorts. So this is the avidya sakti illusion. This is so powerful, very powerful. You cannot overcome this. Similarly, the rati sakti, taking pleasure in the with the senses, it is very powerful. So until and unless one has complete meditation on Lord Krishna, just like Lord Shiva is doing, so all those opulences may be there. You may be very very rich, you may be very powerful, everything is there, all the senses are working perfect, and everything could be there with you, but everything will be used for the service of the Lord. So Prabhupada through his personal example, has given how we can use all this material energy in the service of Lord. So this is something we can learn from this verse, that even 10 billion maid servant of Lord Durga, Devi Durga, are serving Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva is not disturbed by them, but rather he is using them when required. So Lord Shiva is uses those energy for destruction. So, but he is not destroyed by those energies. And what are services they do? So we can think about different services like fanning. They do chamara, and they sing for Lord Shiva. They glorify the Lord devotion to Sankarsana, just like we sing in the temple. They decorate the area with the flowers and fragrances. They offer different kinds of food that Lord Shiva can have. They perform dances. They guard the sacred areas. They assist in worship Lord Sankarsana. So everything that we can see in a temple that is being done when Srila Prabhupada was there, and then now also we continue the same tradition. So just like it's like a temple for Lord Shiva, and they're all helping him with the worship of Lord Sankarsana. And why Lord Shiva is being served? So Lord Shiva is being served. It shows the glorification of the Lord Shiva. Just like if a person has enormous wealth, he is very healthy, he's very famous, he is very powerful, but still he does not have any kind of ego, any kind of ahankara of that. So um, we read that any person or anyone who has the enormous wealth and everything, powerful, he's very powerful, he's very famous, but his ego is not he's very not very egoistic and he's devotee, then everyone praises him. Similarly, when we hear that Lord Shiva, although being served by many servants, but he detached, is not attached to anyone, that proves, that glorifies Lord Shiva. Then Lord Shiva sets an example for the conditioned souls that the spiritual strength lies not in escaping the world, but mastering consciousness amidst it. So even though everything is around us, it is today it is not possible that we live. Anyone who is want to make spiritual progress, he goes to Himalaya and or to forest area and perform some sadhana. It is not possible. It is not. It is very difficult nowadays. So even one is in the grihastha, in a family life, and doing 9 to 5 job or doing some businesses, but we can take learning from Lord Shiva, and we can meditate upon him. So these are things that we can learn as a divine play lila. So this is like cosmic drama. Even Maya plays roles according to the will of Supreme Lord, right? And because of Shiva's compassion, Shiva accepts that their service to purify them and uplift them. It is not that Lord Shiva requires their service. They want to purify themselves, and therefore they are serving Lord Shiva. And to create an atmosphere of transcendental service. Even material energies can be purified when connected to the divine service. So it is not because Lord Shiva needs them, it is because they need Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva is being served when you read this. So these are the some points that we can think of. Similarly, Prabhupada said when someone asked him that money is material, why do you need money? So Lord Prabhupada said that I know how to convert material energy into spiritual energy. So anything that we have, if we use for the service of Lord, all this material energy becomes spiritual energy. Okay, and then what we learn that meta energy bind and dilute them for the ordinary soul, but for Lord Shiva and the exalted devotees, meta energy serve and assist him. They are subject to karma, desires, and moha and illusion, but Lord Shiva, he remains in samadhi on Lord Sankarsana. And ordinary living beings are entangled in the birth and death, but exalted devotees and Lord Shiva is liberated beyond the mode of nature. So what it teaches that if we fix our consciousness on Krishna, then even Maya, the powerful material energy, becomes our helper and protector instead of our binder and the enemy. So we are very fortunate that we are into this mission of Srila Prabhupada and propagated by Lord Chaitanya himself, that we now learn how to use our energies. So Prabhupada said that all those energy that we have, all the propensities that we have, we can use in the service of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Yat karosi, yat asnasi, yat juhosi dadasi, yat tapasvasi kontya, tad purusha madarpanam. He said, anything that you are doing, you just try to offer it to me. So that those things we need to understand and we need to learn. And in this verse, reminds of those facts that we already know. Then why in Vedic literatures, why in Vedic literature male Purusha is served by the many female Prakritis? So this is one questions that always asked whenever we go for preaching and do something, then this is the question they ask, that in Vedic literatures, why it is said that a Purusha is served by many females? So many times they ask this. So let us understand what is this male and the female concept in terms of material and also in terms of the spiritual. So Purusha means the enjoyer, the controller, the supreme consciousness is a male principle. And the Prakriti is the enjoyed, the nature, the energy, and this is the female principle. So Purusha represents the consciousness, there is the active, directive, and initiatory. And Prakriti represents the energy, matter, receptive, nourishing, and the Prakriti is expressive. So there's the male or the Purusha, the center of the consciousness, and the female Prakriti are the active agents of the service and expression. So Purusha desires and Prakriti manifests. So without Purusha, Prakriti has no direction, and without Prakriti, Purusha has no manifestation. So it's like both are interlinked together. They are not separated. They're the one. They form the one active principles, but just based on the different function, we describe them differently. So one is like a desire function, and one other is the manifestation. So this is not that it is separated, but based on the function, it is described in that format. So they are inseparable, yet Purusha is the enjoyer and the Prakriti is the enjoyed. So this is what we understand. In the spiritual world, service of feminine energy to masculine Purusha is the pure love, the devotion service, free from any exploitation. It's not that because the male or the Purusha is being served by the female or the Prakriti, it is exploitation. It's not that way. They are both interdependent, and it is the pure love and the devotional exchange. In the material world, this is distorted, and the gender relations are tainted by selfishness, and they try to exploit even the female. They try to exploit the male, and the male they try to exploit the female. Both are selfish. Both they exploit each other, and both of them they try to dominate each other. So there is nothing like pure love or free from exploitation or pure service mindset. But in pure Vedic understanding, female serving a male symbolizes the energy lovingly serving the conscious source, not inequality but harmony. Thus, service is the highest expression of love. So for them, it's like a service, and it is not exploitation. So female energy are not considered the lower one in the Vedic and the spiritual understanding. Female is not considered as the lower one. They are as powerful, they're essential, and they're a beloved part of divine existence. And Purusha and the Prakriti, they are incomplete. So many times we see the Lord Shiva, the earth Narishwar. So a half body of the female and half body the male. That also figure that sometimes we see. That images we know and their description. So in the spiritual world and the material world, the male and the female is completely different in that way. So why are many females serving one male? So let us understand this. So unity of consciousness, one supreme consciousness and coordinating unlimited energy. Just like one person, he is single person, but he has many different types of energies, like speaking energy, listening energy, thinking energy, walking energy, eating energy. So all this energy that manifests is like a prakriti. And if I want to work something, then I need to manifest, and then I use energy. So this is what we understand. And source and expansion, all energy expand from one source. So serving him in variety of rasas and mood, and display of variety of devotions, different maid servants like goddess energy, different flavors of devotion, like we read about dasya ras, sakhya rasa, vatsalya, and madhurya. So they are different types of rasas that manifest, and it is not lust, but it is a service. So Nija Indriya Priti Vancha Tare Boli Kam, Krishna India Priti Vancha Dhare Prem Nam. So whenever we think about we want to enjoy ourselves, that is lust. But whenever we think about serving the Supreme Krishna, that is called the love. So in spiritual realm, is not the male dominance, but loving cooperation, where feminine energies offer themselves joyfully. Just like a magnet attracts iron rods, So there is a natural attraction, and they have different function. They perform differently. It is not that one is dominating and the other is dominated. And the supreme is the love. There is supremacy of love. Love is like a natural express service. So how do I know someone that I love? So if I love someone, I do not expect anything from him or her or them. We just serve. It is not that I do something to get something out of it. For example, I mean, as a grihastha, we understand that all for our children. I mean, we work very hard, and when we give something to children, we give them money for education. We spend money on their toys, and when they're happy, we feel ourselves happy. We do not expect anything in the return from them. So this is the expression of love. When you love someone, you do everything. You work very hard. You spend all your energies just so that they are happy and they are comfortable. This is called love. And but when we work in an environment where we work but we want something in the return, that is not the love. So that is the business exchange. So there is a difference between the lust and the service. In the spiritual world, it is all love. I mean, Lord Krishna wants that the Radharani should be happy, and Radharani wants that the Lord Krishna should be happy. So this is not like uh, one is dominating and other is being dominated. So this is not the fact. So thus, many feminine energies serving supreme masculine is an image of cosmic love, harmony, and joyful cooperation, and it is not the domination of one. Then the first principle, the Atma. Atma is the beyond material gender. So it's not that because from the material conception we say that this is the male and this is the female. So it is not like that for the Atma. Actually, Atma is not neither male nor female. In that perspective, it is the pure, I mean, part and parcel of Lord Krishna. Mami Vamsa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. This is what Lord says. So in the material world, the gender, male and female body is a result of the past karma, this past actions and the desires that manifest in terms of male and female energies, and a role is assigned to play out experiences in the world. So just like sometimes if he's a common man, he becomes a king. A common man becomes like a beggar. A common man becomes sometimes they dress like a female. So it is just like a role assigned in to experience in the world. So it is not that female or male, a soul is not a male or soul is not a female. It is just given a chance to experience different things based on their karma phala, past actions, and their desires. And it is a way to understand and liberate themselves from this material world. So there's a karmic causes, soul desires to enjoy controlling or protective roles. They take the male bodies, and soul desire to enjoy nurturing, beautifying, and supportive roles. They take the female bodies. But they are temporary clause. They change. Dehinu yatha Dehinu asmitha dehe kaumaram jivanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhirastatra namoyuti. So it changes. The body changes, and the male can become female, and female can assume the male body. So today maybe we are looking at someone who is a male and someone who is a female, but when they change the body, they can become male, or female can become male, and male can become a female. So there's nothing called male and female category from the spiritual perspective. From the spiritual perspective, all souls are considered feminine in relation to the Lord Krishna. In relation to each other, we may take male or female material bodies based on karma, but in relation to Lord Krishna, Supreme Purusha, all living beings are soul are feminine. That means they are the energies, and there's only one person who is the energy, who is the possessor of this energy and all others energy. And he is the only, Lord Krishna is the only ultimate enjoyer, the Purusha, the male principle, and every soul and everything that the other is the enjoyer, lover, and the devotee, like a Prakriti principle. The soul's natural position is to love and serve the enjoyed supreme Purusha. And if that natural position is distorted, and we start thinking that I'm also the enjoyer and I'm also the controller, that is the time like we are into the material world. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said the Jiva Swarup hai Krishnera Nitya Das. So why does a female soul, I mean, sometimes they ask that they get a male body. So it's not that because the soul is female, it will always have the female body, and the entire world is filled with female. There is no male. So the material world is different. It is given a chance to experience, and we wanted to enjoy different kind of propensities, different kind of energies, different kind of expressions from the Lord. So based on karma, the soul embodied different kind of dresses and actions and the lessons they learn. And until we understand these facts by the experiences of devotees and by reading the scriptures, it is very difficult to overcome this mentality of male and female. These are all temporary. These are not our eternal body of a male or female. It's just temporary. It's like a dress, just like in Bhagavata we see, and it changes. And but the ultimate identity is that the soul is not dependent on this body or gender, and it is the feminine in the nature. So the soul may wear a male or female body according to karmic journey, but eternally the soul is the God servant, Nitya Krishna Das. And that relationship, the soul is feminine. Feminine is not about the bodily features, but it is about that they're receptive, they're loving, and they are the devotees. So this is what we understand from this topic. And in the Krishna Loka and the Goloka, there are male friends like Siddhama, Subala, Sudama, Madhumangala, and there are female friends also, Radhani, Lalita, Visakha, etc. So these male friends, they like Sakhya Rasa and pure friendships, and others Madhurya Rasa, the intimate conjugal love. And so it's not about the body, but it is about the way they deal with Lord Krishna. So it is not the male and female conception. There is in the spiritual world, there's not nothing like that, but there is always a loving exchange between both. So material male and female, they are temporary roles based on karma, and the soul's real identity is beyond gender. Soul is pure spiritual personality with certain eternal rasas, relationship with the Krishna. That eternal rasa is fixed. So in Goloka, soul is situated in their original, eternal, spiritual identity Swarupa. Some as Krishna's friends, some as Gopi, etc. And thus, some soul eternally had the mood of friendship, Sakhya Rasa, which appears male-like in spirit, but it's not like the male body that we see here. And others had the mood of conjugal love, then a female-like spirit. The key point is not about the physical male and the female bodies, but about the mood, bhavas, and the relationship and the rasa. So love is not about becoming someone else. It is about awakening who we truly are for Krishna. So each soul that we're talking about here, each soul is a jiva, the eternal and the original spiritual identity and Swarupa with Krishna. This Swarupa includes the eternal rasa, the relationship, dasyaras, sakyaras, vasalyaras, madhuryaras, and our spiritual body that is called Siddha Deha, and the name, form, service, everything includes in the Swarupa. And this is called Nitya Siddha Swarupa, the eternally perfect spiritual self. Thus, the rasa is eternally fixed already. And our relationship to Krishna is in particular way. It is not that we invent or we artificially choose it. It is something, it is not something that we create, it is something that we uncover by our devotional practices. So, like can a soul select the rasa by choice? So, starting in the beginning, we may be attracted or we may be read about different rasas, but But gradually, when we practice our devotion services and chant sincerely, the original rasa becomes real by Krishna's will. If you select it artificially, then that is called sahajya bhava, sahajya. That leads to spiritual confusion, and that is not recommended by any of our acharyas. So we always focus on the natural awakening of our rasas, and that should come naturally to us. So what we can do is like uh, we need to uh, we need to do our devotion service and chanting and whatever the spiritual master has instructed us. We need to just follow it sincerely, and in due course of time, everything will be revealed. There are some sampradayas in which they teach about this kind of sadhana where they will tell that this is your eternal service, this is your age, and this is your name, something like that. And that was also practiced long time. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, he has stopped it and said that those things should come naturally to a devotee who is very sincere and who practices. So these are things that we can study from this verse. So let me come to this starting verse again. Yeah, so these are a few things that we can discuss from these verses. That why 11th verses you already have learned about it, and I also told that this verse is not the geographical description, but is a bigger spiritual and cosmological description, and it will be difficult if you just try to understand and plot everything on this earth only and try to know where is 11th verse and where is the Kim Purusa verse, something like that. So it is not in that way. It is very big description of the universe and the cosmology, and then we also discuss about the male and female concept. We also discuss about what are the different 10 billion maid servant of the goddess Durga who is serving the Lord Shiva. And while Lord Shiva is meditating and they are serving, everything we discussed, we also discuss about the male and female concept in the material and the spiritual world. We also discuss about that how we can achieve our own consciousness. So these are this discussion is very short. So I would like to stop here and we can take any questions that we have. Thank you very much. I will stop sharing now.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you much for giving an overview of Lord Shiva's glory and their position, and why Lord Shiva is always meditating on Lord Shankarshana, and also you beautifully explained uh, the the principles behind the male and the female and their natural position. Thank you, Prabhu. I'd request the devotees to unmute and then share their comments or questions, please.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, Prabhu. Thanks for such a wonderful class, Prabhu. As usual, your notes were so wonderful, Prabhu. Really, I was always feeling male and female are harmonious, but I didn't know how to explain to others, Prabhu, especially the young girls. So many points I got from you. And Prabhu, about Shiva, from where you found so much information, Prabhu? Bhagavatam, it is there, Prabhu.
It's then Bhagavata Mataji.
Which canto, Prabhu?
I don't in the canto. I mean, I didn't tell anything specific. I mean, I just covered what is in purport only. Anything specific you want to mention? I said.
No. Like this maid servants.
Yeah, the maids. Yeah, so that list is not there. I mean, these are the different kind of energies that is there who are serving. So these energies, we get information from different places.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranams, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you for the wonderful class, Prabhu. As Mataji said, we could get so many points. And finally, you said, love is revealing our Swarupa. Am I correct, Prabhu?
Yes,
Which
Mataji.
Krishna reveals to us.
Yes.
Depending on our service to him.
Yes, I mean, it is the perfection of our service that that is get revealed. It is not something that it is imposed. I mean, we may be attracted initially to say Madhurya Ras. So because we learned that Madhurya Bhav is the highest one. So we may be attracted to those, and then we sing and we learn all those things. But ultimately, it is to appreciate. So sometimes if you read this Pratna by Narottam Das Thakur, so he said that he want to become a gopi. So it is his eternal bhavas. It is not that when we read, it becomes our eternal bhava. So it is his internal bhava, and we read and we sing to glorify and release his internal bhava. And in that process, when our consciousness and our efforts becomes pure, by the mercy of Vishnu Master and the Krishna, our eternal position with respect to Krishna is revealed. So that is what we understand. It is not to be imposed on our mind that I am this and this. If we impose artificially, then it becomes sahaja. And Prabhupada and our Parampara is extremely against those sahaja bhavas.
Thank you, Prabhu. So with this knowledge now, if we read 10th chapter, we will enjoy every verse and every word, I think.
Yes, Mataji. We just need to enjoy everything. And our position will be revealed in due course. Not that someone who is meditating on the conjugal love and then he becomes gopis. It is not that everyone sadhaka performing. So anyone comes into ISKCON, he becomes gopi later on.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Premavasya Prabhu. I have one doubt, Prabhuji. Typically, what we heard about Lord Shiva is that Lord Shiva is surrounded by Bhutaganas and, they will be serving him. Whereas here in Ilavarta Varsha, we see that, he is surrounded by the uh, servants of Mother Durga.
Yes.
How to understand this, Prabhuji?
Yes, correct. So in this discussion also, I mean, when you read about it, so this is Ilavarta Varsa is the special place. So Lord Shiva is he controls the Tamaguna and he is served by different Bhuta Ganas and the Ganas who are in different forms. So when we read about the marriage of Lord Shiva, there we see that all these Ganas, they come. But this Ilavarta Varsa, in that specific place, there is no one else apart from this Lord Goddess Durga and the different maid servants. So this is a very special place. It's just like if I see that when I go to office, I have many one, but when I'm in my house, I'm only with my wife, something like that.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. One more clarification, Prabhu. This Ilavarta Varsha is after Bharat Maharaj became the emperor. That has become Bharat Varsha. Am I correct, Prabhu? Somewhere I read like that.
No.
Is it correct?
No, the Ilavarta Varsa is just near to the Sumerium, the first circle, that is Ilavarta Varsa. And then Bharata Varsa comes much later, Mataji.
Okay. Both
So
are different. Ilavarta
different,
Varsha
Mataji. Yes,
different and Bharat Varsha is different. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Any other comments or reflections from the devotees? I think there are no questions, Prabhuji. So we can end today's session with Vaishnava Pranam. Vancha Kalpata Rubhyasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. Thank you, Prabhuji, once again for class. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavad Pranam. I'll end the Zoom session, devotees. Hare Krishna.